His fluency in English and technology made him one of the top terrorist recruiters in the world. A Houston man is accused of threatening to kill Governor Rick Perry and blow up 2 downtown Houston buildings. The Conroe couple has been indicted for the death of their 5-week-old baby. They'll be back here at 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and they say they could wrap it up by as early as Wednesday next week. Now to a story we've been following since this morning. 10 students are recovering after a serious school bus crash. We got mad love for you, edible arrangements. And don't worry, we're going to take good care of these.
Oh, yeah. So you don't feel guilty about eating this like some of the other sweets we get in the newsroom all the time.
Exactly. You want to order some food without getting up from your seat? There's an app for that.
To wear kind of a light jacket tomorrow morning. Wouldn't that be
cool.
nice?
I think it's going to be a little cool in the morning. I know
That's
you like
downright
that
chilly for you.
Yeah,
I love it.
Exactly. I'd have to have a pink sweater.
There you go. We can arrange that.
Steve, thank you. And coming up all new at 5, we're taking a closer look at the political implications of Ron Paul's statements could have on his presidential run. That's coming your way at the top of the hour on Local 2 News at 5. And this just in, there has been yet another death linked to that deadly listeria outbreak connected to cantaloupes. Now, this latest death is in Colorado, the 3rd death in that state and the 17th in the U.S. 84 people in at least 19 states have become sick after eating Colorado cantaloupes. Officials with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say they expect the death toll to rise because the symptoms of listeria can take weeks to show up. Ever wonder if your workplace has the most smokers? Well, a new report from the CDC reveals which professions top the list. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention finds that minors and people who work in the hotel and food service industry smoke the most. Also likely to smoke are people working in construction. The report found those in the education field are the least likely to smoke. And I'm Iain Page. Those shelter-in-place orders were simply precautionary. The oil ignited around 1:30 this afternoon at Red Bluff Road and Traffic Circle. Several roads near the plant were shut down, but they've since been reopened. Thick black smoke poured from the refinery. As you can see, plant personnel were on the scene to battle the fire. There are no reports, though, of any injuries. And now to the developments in the case against Houston Dr. Conrad Murray. Today, a paramedic told a Los Angeles jury the doctor never said Michael Jackson had been given a powerful anesthetic. His fluency in English and technology made him one of the top terrorist recruiters in the world, but now he's dead. Al-Qaeda operative Anwar al-Awlaki was killed today in Yemen when a U.S. drone hit his motorcade, but some are calling the terrorist killing an assassination.
I think that's a good way to deal with our problems. He's born here. Al-Awlaki was born here. He's an American citizen. He was never tried or charged for any crimes.
Well, the American-born Muslim cleric is well known to U.S. officials and had been recently tied to the Fort Hood massacre. Now, on the Christmas Day attempted bombing of an airliner bound for Detroit. NBC's Steve Handelsman live now with more on al-Awlaki's killing. It's an arson investigation inside a Northwest Houston apartment. Investigators believe a recently evicted tenant started the fire that destroyed 8 apartments in the Westview Court Apartments complex. Local 2's Erica Sargent ventured inside a burned-out apartment and has got more on the investigation, as well as the efforts to get new homes for the victims. It's all new at 4. Final days in court, an update on the murder conviction appeal involving American student Amanda Knox. You're watching Local 2 News at 4.
You're watching Local 2 News at 4.
A Conroe couple has been indicted for the death of their 5-week-old baby. According to the indictment, 22-year-old Jimmy Hood and 23-year-old Danette Williams caused intentional injury to a child by shaking their baby boy. Preliminary autopsy results showed the baby suffered a broken neck along with other injuries. Defense attorneys argue the baby may have died from sudden infant death syndrome. If convicted, Hood and Williams both face 5 to 99 years or life in prison. Now to a developing story. We're only days away from hearing if Amanda Knox's murder conviction will be overturned. In an Italian courtroom today, the prosecution said Knox, an American student, would flee the country if she's set free. Yesterday, defense attorneys said DNA evidence was found unreliable by forensic scientists. Knox is serving a 26-year sentence for the 2007 death of her British roommate. She's expected to speak to the court before it returns a decision on Monday.
Today it was a lot more mundane, a lot more laid back than it's been the last 2 days.
Today was more mundane as the prosecution continued its case against Tyrone Palmer, calling John Ross, William Fuller's stepbrother, to the stand. Ross, in jail for the 4th time for drug possession, testified that his mother, Paulette Burleson, didn't abuse him or William Fuller, but rather disciplined them. Next, the state called assistant medical examiner who performed the autopsy on Paulette Burleson.
This trial is to me is compared to having CSI, criminal minds intent, law and order, all rolled into one.
Defense attorney Anthony also isn't finished with William Fuller yet. He says he may make a motion to strike Fuller's testimony because of the outbursts he made while on the stand the past 2 days.
Well, we're going to work on that over the weekend. Okay, so that's another another point we'll address when the judge comes back. This particular judge didn't hear the testimony, so when Judge Brown's back, I think she understands that we're going to make that motion.
Now, court will not be in session here on Monday because of the Columbus Day holiday, so they'll be back here at 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and they say they could wrap it up by as early as Wednesday next week. At the Harris County Courthouse, Iain Page, KPRC Local 2.